Good morning, we're ready.
All right. Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Antoine Thompson, Greater Washington Region Clean Cities Coalition. Thank you for joining with us today for our monthly clean energy and transportation industry meeting. We're excited that you have chosen to be here with us. We know that you could be anywhere else, but you are with us on the call. So we're excited. That you could join us today. So thank you for being here with us. We do have uh, Ron Flowers, who's our founding executive director for our coalition, which is celebrating 15 years. That's right. We're celebrating
Amen.
15 years of leadership and service. And we're really excited. We're going to have an amazing annual conference this year. So save the date, October, I believe it's 22nd. We'll have our annual conference. And so we're really looking forward to that. We'll have a save the date coming out for that and our golf tournament as well. So we're looking forward to that. So 21st, October 21st will be the golf tournament. October 22nd will be the our conference. We're going to celebrate 15 years of service. We've been in the area over 30 years, but a standalone nonprofit 15 years. And largely that's partly due to our host today, who's going to be emceeing Ron Flowers. So thank you for your leadership and service. Just a few quick announcements. Wednesday, February 18th, we will have GWRCCC. We're collaborating again with Bowie State University. They're doing a career fair. This will be our fourth year participating with that event as part of our workforce development efforts. In fact, one of our team members, Jade Bynum, who is on the call with us today, we met her there. She was an intern, and now she's a full-time employee, native of Prince George's County, Maryland. And so internships and career fairs do work. So that's how we met her. And she's now part of the team. Also, save the date for this. We'll put this in the chat as well. GWRCCC and NAFA, National Association of Fleet Administrators, those are the men and women who work with our fleets. We are collaborating on an event at it's going to be at our building, 899 North Capitol Street, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Thursday, February 26th. Now you can get a discount when you register for the event. You get a GWRCCC discount. All you have to do is put our acronym in, and you will get a discount on the event. I think it's like $25 or something like that. But you get like $10 off if you use the GWRCCC discount. And you got to be a member of GWRCCC. So don't put in there if you're not a member of the organization because they're going to increase it. They're going to send us a list. You got to be a member to be able to qualify for the code. It's only a discount for members. So it's going to be a nice event. It will include lunch as well. It'll be a great event with fleets and other professionals. February 26th, and we'll put that in. And it's going to be at the first floor, one of the first floor conference rooms. So it should be nice. Also, if you're ever interested, we always have guests. We have a bi-weekly radio program on WOL 1450 AM. Where we talk about different clean energy, clean transportation initiatives. So if you ever want to be a guest on the show to talk about some of your good work, just send me an email and we'll get you on. And it's live on the radio. And then we take that sound and then we put it onto our podcast platform. So come on out. You never know who's listening. Okay. So that's 11 a.m. every other Tuesday right now. We may be every month as well, but we're want you to know that. The other thing is April 18th is the Earth Day, second annual Earth Day walk and in Green Expo, an alternative fuel vehicle display. That's going to take place at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. So before you make your Earth Day plans, reach out to GWRCCC. We will be really ramping up our marketing for that. We have a nice team that's working on it, and we're still looking for sponsors. You You can be a sponsor. You can put a team in the event. You can also showcase a vehicle, an alternative fuel vehicle, whether it's electric, biofuels, propane, natural gas, hydrogen, the whole eco-ethanol, the whole hybrid. So make sure April 18th. So please do that as well. The last thing I wanted to mention is that there are a number of funding opportunities that are available. State of Maryland, Maryland Energy Administration has a couple grants that are due this month. If you're looking to apply for one of those grants on their website, you need a letter of support, send me an email, and one of our team members will prepare a letter of support for your application. If you need me to take a look at it, give you some feedback as well. And if you're looking for a project partner or project administrator, let me know about that as well. Last thing is about membership. So two things you're going to hear a lot from us about the next 60 days or so. One is going to be about Earth Day Walk, and the second thing will be about making sure that you are a dues paying member. If you've not paid your dues, do it, because you're going to get enough emails, phone calls. I might even come knock on your door and say, where are your dues? But I won't do that. So make sure we do that. So without further ado, I'm going to come back on at the end. I want to turn it over to our founding executive director, who should be so proud of how far this organization has come. And so we stand on his shoulders, and we just appreciate the fact that 15 years later, he is still serving and helping out. And a lot of times people see me as the face of the organization, but it's a lot of folks like Ron and others, and Corey, and I see Jill on, and a number of our board members and many of our stakeholders who are really the ones that are the partners and the wind beneath the wings that continue to help us elevate our organization and make an impact in the region. So without further ado, Ron, the floor is yours. And I want you to know I just gave away, I got one more check to give to a student today. I think I'm gonna take it over to their house tomorrow. And but the students, they love getting those checks from the golf tournament. So I just want you to know that we have one more student I've been trying to track down, and I'm meeting up with them tomorrow. So I just want you to know, and your name, we have a golf tournament, but it's in his name. And tell the students love getting those $1,000 checks.
Yes, yes. The golf tournament is October 21st, and we will be calling. But I'm extremely pleased to be hosting this meeting today, and I'm extremely pleased to be hosting it and presenting Corey Neal Sr., who we've been working together maybe about close to 10 years now.
It's about.
And I convinced Corey's dad to come to the board, and now Corey is serving. And many of you may not know that K. Neal Truck and Service Company is about 30 years old, a little bit more, and it's family owned. It's among the very few minority-owned business dealerships in the country. And I'm extremely proud of what Corey has been doing and following in his dad's footsteps. He's got to step up, and I'm certain that today we will hear a lot about what he's doing and initiatives that he's taken in this industry. But I don't want to belabor the point, and I want to turn it over to Corey, and at an appropriate time, we'll all have an opportunity to question him with a little and get a little feedback on what's going on in the industry. But they're serving the DMV area, as well as, I think, Delaware area, the Pennsylvania area. And if there's some areas I've missed, Corey, please do. And I hope that you will tell us more about some of the services that you're doing, which I think are pretty unique in the industry. With no further ado, Corey, it's your show.
Well, Ron, thank you for the great introduction, and I would be remiss if I just didn't say thank you overall for what you have not only done for this organization and myself, but I think overall just transportation and clean energy within the Washington metropolitan area. Uh, we talk about 15 years as the organization standing alone, but 30 years, and you've been here even prior to. So kudos to you for the legacy that you've left and that you continue to leave. As it pertains to, Antoine, you went through a slew of the different things that are going on, and kudos to you and the organization to continue to reinvent yourself, right, in this kind of world that we're living in right now. So, just a great thing there. But as Ron said, my name is Corey Neal. I'm the president and CEO of K Neal Truck and Bus Center. We are a international dealership. We are Hino International and Isuzu, and we carry class 4 through 8 products on the heavy duty commercial side. We have locations Maryland, DC, and Virginia, and we serve a footprint that essentially spans from Pennsylvania right down to the right down to the North Carolina border. So we keep ourselves busy. We continue to grow, and we continue to look for opportunities that align with our mission of first to serve others, right? That's foundational for us here. If you think about what we actually do within the transportation world, whether it is in our school bus relationships and or it is within what we do on the truck side, we're here to serve. At the end of the day, when you think about the transportation industry, we are here to make sure that goods and services, whether that is, electric, whether that is our actual packages that come to our homes every single day through our box trucks, or it is the school buses that pick up our kids, and take them to school every single day. We are here to serve. So that's first and foremost. The second thing is we're here to sell, right? I would be remiss here if, the way that we run and function our organization is off of the basis of selling. And I'm pretty sure today on this call, we have a lot of people that are our customers, and we are incredibly thankful for our customers. At the end of the day, we do know that our customers have a choice. And when our customers choose us, we're thankful for that. And we do our best to serve them at the highest level that we possibly can. And I would not only say that just for our customers, but that's also with our vendors. We do an incredible amount of partnerships, especially over the last few years with grants and different things going on within electrification and biodiesel and some of the applications that we are adding to our vehicles to be able to support some of the zero emission goals that are out there. So, we have great partners that we work with as well. And then, from our foundation, I think one of the things that Ron talked about was that this is a second generation business. This business has actually been on this corner of 5000 Tuxedo Road since 1964. This has been an international dealership, and our family acquired it in the late 90s. So we've been here for a while. We put a new building. We're invested in this community. This is our headquarters. We are the only headquartered commercial truck and school bus dealership in the Prince George's County. So we do take great pride in that. And first and foremost, from a foundational standpoint that my father laid vision for when he purchased this company is we're here to take care of our customers, first and foremost. Second is take care of our associates, the people that actually touch our customers every single day. And last but not least, we invest back into the community. If we do those things very well, hopefully we can see another 30 years and this business can continue to grow. But it will not be without, great partnership, employees, and the community, as that is what we do on a daily basis in our mission.
Well, Corey, let me ask you. I know we have talked over the years, and I know there is a lot of folk into electrification and vehicles and charging systems, and a lot of times, as we've discussed it, people don't connect the right pieces. Either the equipment for the task is not correct for in terms of its electrical setups, or either the charging systems are not right. And I know you've been trying to partner with some of your customers to make sure the equipment is right for what it's being purchased for, and the systems to keep it charged is correct. Can you talk a little bit about what you do and what you've done with regards to that?
Absolutely. We've done a total, and I want to say this dates back to maybe 2022, 2023, 6 electric vehicle deployments. And I think in those deployments, I think in totality, it's going to be just under about 80 units in total in those 6 different deployments. The first thing we always try to do is assess, right? Is this the right application, for what you are trying to get done? So that's always the first thing we look at it is an assessment. The second thing we look at is the application, right? So like, can this be done? And then like, can we actually, is this available? Is there enough duty cycle, et cetera? And then the next thing we point to is, can you afford it? Right. I mean, right now, I think one of the hurdles that we are currently facing is there are a lot of grants. Obviously, the EPA one was a huge one that really propelled this thing forward. But can you afford the infrastructure? As well as can you not afford the infrastructure? Meaning that there are some cases where we have to kind of extend ourselves in order to get this type of technology out there. So it is not a one size fit all bucket. That's probably the biggest thing from electrification side. We do a lot in school bus here. So the majority of our deployment have been in school buses. We've done a couple deployment in medium duty international trucks. In addition to that, we've done a couple. We are in the process of doing a deployment for an Isuzu vehicle, which is more of a light duty vehicle. So a lot of different things, but our ultimate job here, as we like to say, is to give our customers options. So, if electrification is the route, then we want to support them and champion them through it. If some level of a biodiesel is the route they want to go, hey, we want to be there to champion, support them. And, ultimately, if they just want to go the traditional route of, diesel and gas, we have products. So, we look at it in a full scope and not a one size fit all application.
Okay, and I think key to what you're saying, being an old fleet guy myself, is a lot of times people don't get the right equipment for the application. And then they end up with a piece of equipment that's breaking down, and then they want to blame the vendor or they want to blame somebody else. So it's extremely important, as Corey has said, irregardless of what type of vehicle you're interested in, is to make sure we explain very clearly to the dealer and to our constituents what vehicles are appropriate for the application.
Ron, I just want to double down on that, especially right now. I don't know, there's not a fleet, a municipality, a state, or a customer that isn't feeling financial pressure, right? I mean, budgets are being cut every single day. The economy is shrinking. If we really look at the economy, even though we're seeing, growth, it's being fueled by the top 5%, right? So, I mean, we got more than 50% of our purchases in the retail world being done by the top 5%. So, we are under, some level of, economic pressure right now. So when you think about equipment, and you think about how we used to spec equipment, how we used to buy equipment, right now it is more important than ever that we are picking the right equipment to match multiple applications, right? Having a vehicle that has a singular purpose in a world where, you are going to be, limited from a standpoint of capacity of funds. You can't do that. You really have to look down and say, what is the best application to serve all the applications or the most applications I possibly can within my organization? I will also say, simultaneously, the days of people really understanding trucks or school buses and the specking and the application, those days are long gone, right? You come into a dealership or you go into a manufacturer, or you go into a fleet or an organization. There used to be a person that knew a truck from back to front, left to right, and those days are few and far between. So really, you really have to get in partnership. You have to bring more people to the table, to talk about their needs, and just so that you can get the same amount of stuff done that you used to be able to get done with two people. So it is quite complicated, but ultimately, getting the right application for what you need now, for to serve as many people and as many operations in your organization, but also simultaneously, having a little foresight of, okay, what am I going to need 6 months from now? What am I going to need a year from now? I can tell you, I'm pretty sure everybody that didn't have a snowplow, the last 3 or 4 weeks, wish that, yeah, man, we should have made this a snowplow application, right? So just doing those little options that they give you versatility later on.
I'm gonna ask you to deal with two other pieces, and then I'm gonna open it up. One is, as you look at vehicles, you have a system that I want you to give just a little bit about, and that's that On Command Connect,
Yeah.
where I think it's important in today's environment for people to understand the fact that we can predetermine now when equipment is wearing down and wearing out before it breaks down,
Yeah.
and cause more disruption. I need you to talk a little bit about that, On Command's the Connect system, and also I think you're unique in the fact that you have a 24/7, 365 days a year on the road maintenance service. There are very few in-house truck dealerships like yours that have that kind of service. I think you need to give a little bit on that, and then we'll open it up to the group.
No, perfect. And they actually go hand in hand, simultaneously. So we offer a product, and a solution to our customers called On Command Connection. And we also, another name you may hear it is called i360, right? When you think about i360 and On Command Connection, it's a wraparound product for our customer. Similar to many of the cars that you guys have today, there's an app that pretty much controls and monitors your car at all time. That is something that we do for our customers. So when somebody purchases a vehicle from us, we have like multiple, there's a TV behind me here. And if you went down our service department, there's a massive amount of little either red dots or yellow dots, right? Red dots are trucks, yellow dots are red dots are trucks, yellow dots are buses. We serve both. And any level of a fault code that, comes about in that vehicle, we get that information, right? And there's essentially a 1, 2, or 3. Number one is, hey, this is a fault code. We should alert the customer and tell them to come in for a service. Number two is hey, this is a service now. We've got to get them in right now for service to prevent more damage in the vehicle going forward. And number three is a number, that's like a high. That's like, hey, stop the engine, right? If you run this, there's going to be some level of catastrophic failure that's going to cost the customer, right? So that is a service that we offer our customers, and I think that is something that we do very well. Even though we are an international Hino and Isuzu dealer, it's somebody that has a mixed fleet, or you might have some PACCAR units, you might have some Volvo, Mack, or even Freightliner units. We're able to put that solution all the way around your whole fleet. So that is something that we consider a great value add. And the big thing is that we run across is the implementation of this on the other side, because this is a little bit, it's highly technical, but when you think about some of the fleets, they may not want to implement this level of technology within their fleet. So making sure that we've got the email set up so that we can make instant and constant communication is one of the bigger pieces there. And then the other piece is our mobile service. Ron mentioned it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now that is not something my employees love. That somebody has to pretty much be on call for that whole time. But essentially, we consider ourselves an important part of the circle, right? And that circle is taking care of the customer, taking care of the people, right? So if a vehicle goes down in the middle of the night and there is something that needs to be addressed right then and there, we take care of that. So not only do we do that, for our local market, we also have partners that, essentially that our customers that, run in a complete mid-Atlantic, so that they're able to have uptime as well. So it's a great service. We have, I want to say in this local DC market, we're just under about 15 units on the road right now in totality. As you move into our Southern Virginia markets and our Western Virginia markets, we also have more trucks to be able to be there as well. But it's been a definite customer, appreciation tool, as well as it's been a great thing for the business as well.
Okay. Are there any questions? Anyone want to jump in and ask a question regarding anything that's been said or something that hadn't been said?
You have to look in the chat to see if anyone did it. I don't see any questions in the chat right now, but if folks could put them in the chat, that would be great. And while we're waiting for them, I did have a quick question for Corey as well. Since this is Black History Month, can you just tell us a little bit about you all's story? How many other Corey Nails are there in the nation as commercial bus dealers, and how do you navigate through the terrain in this industry as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's not something that we're proud of, because obviously we'd love to see more representation of minorities throughout the country and within the space that we work and operate. But to your point, there's about 1,700 truck dealerships in the United States that represent a host of all brands. There are two African-American owned truck dealerships in the United States. So, we are one of two, and we are two of 1,600. So it is something that, we are incredibly proud of in this organization, and not just proud of, us and what we've been able to do as a family, but just the work. We're competitors. We believe in taking the opportunity that comes about. We work incredibly hard. Our organization works incredibly hard. And it's something that we are incredibly proud of. But, every single day, it is tough, right? Being an entrepreneur, as I'm pretty sure many people on this call are, it's tough, transparently. I mean, you think about the dealership world, the barriers of capital to get into this industry, right? Whether it's a car dealership or a truck dealership or any type of dealership, just you've got to buy a building, you've got to buy a land, you've got to buy an inventory, you've got to buy, floor plan, you've got to do so much just to kind of get the doors open. So it's something that we're appreciative of. It's something that we don't take lightly. And it's something that, one of our missions is to have a legacy business. So, in a perfect world, we'll see, another Neil, at some point in time, in this role of leading this family business and taking us into the future as my father and I have done today.
Corey, there was a question about the number of schools, districts being served with school buses in the Maryland area that you deal with.
So in Maryland, you've got the big three, right? So the big four. So you think about Montgomery County, you think about Prince George's County, you think about Baltimore County, and then you think about Frederick County, right? So those are the big four. All big fours are running some level of electrification in their fleet. Obviously, you have people like Montgomery County that, are probably the furthest out. They did some stuff early on. But I think as a lot of the major funding has dried up, we are seeing people pause their electrification strategies just until, more government funding is available. On the smaller side, Maryland's a pretty unique state where you have a lot of government and municipality fleet-owned vehicles. And then you also have contractor-owned vehicles. So contractors are, myself or anybody on this call could apply to be a contractor in certain county and run a bus route themselves. You don't see much adoption you do not see much adoption on the contractor side. Most of those contractors are running 2 or 3 and maybe even 4 vehicles. So making the math work with infrastructure and buses is kind of hard for a single, person owner. But you do see some application within the big 4 in the state, which again are Montgomery, Baltimore, Prince George's, and Frederick.
Okay, and so you are providing buses to, I know, Prince George's.
Yeah. So out of those 3, out of those 4, so we provide buses to 3.
Okay. The solar. We had a question about solar in transportation.
Yeah, I think solar is not only in transportation but just in totality is great. I think solar is a great option. Our energy consumption here in the Washington metropolitan area versus what we produce is one of the worst ratios in the country. If you just think about how dense we are in population and how much space costs, you don't see a lot of solar fields here, and it costs a lot of money. I mean, I think we're all seeing rising, electrification rates in our home bills every single day. But that being said, a lot of the funding around solar has been pulled back, about around solar projects in this current administration. So, solar, I think, has a long way to go from a standpoint of there's a lot of growth and opportunity within the solar market. Simultaneously, some of the funding that used to support the growth of, some of the funding that used to support solar is not there and not as readily accessible as it once was. Obviously, solar, if you think about charging and you put it directly to transportation, if you have a solar field and then you have battery packs that can store that power and then take that power from solar to battery packs to vehicles on the road, that's the ultimate win. Because at that point, you are really, that's a zero emission cycle there, instead of essentially producing energy to charge batteries, et cetera. So I think solar is great. I think it's a great option. I just think that in the current landscape of funding for solar growth, I think we're challenged.
Okay. Are there any other questions that I have not? I'm looking at the chat.
No, I think I'm looking at the chat as well. I think we addressed it all. I just really want to say one, thank you to Ron and Antoine again for this opportunity. It is something that I feel very prideful in being able to share the stage with these 2 gentlemen and what they're doing. The other thing I would say is, in the commercial vehicle world, I'm here to sell, right? So I think you saw one of our principles that we are a sales focused organization. So anytime that there's a thought or a need of anything commercial vehicle, right? Anything commercial vehicle, whether that is trucks, whether that's parts, whether it's service, anything that, and I consider a commercial vehicle, anything that gets in the way on the road, when you're commute, like anything that's just like, I get this big thing out the way. If you have any of those needs or if you know anybody of those needs, please feel free to reach out to me or stop by the dealership. I'm here all the time, right here on the corner of Kenilworth and Tuxedo. If you're familiar with DC, we're literally less than a mile away from the DC Costco. So feel free, and we're pretty readily available. Kneal, Kneal at knealtbc.com. That's my direct email. Our website is Kneal, Kneal tbc.com. So Kneal Truck and Bus Center. So we're readily available, here to serve. And we just one thing that we always like to say is, in tough times, which we are all in, we need to keep our dollars in our communities, because those dollars that we keep in our community, we can continue to, we can tax, our tax dollars come to support our people. So we're a big thing of keeping, the greater Washington metropolitan area. We've got to work hard to get through where we are right now. So if you got transportation needs, do them here at home.
Yeah, I would just like to encourage anyone and all of those who are on this call just to stop by the new facility that Corey and his father put in place. There's a lot of unique technology in the building. I mean, even the floors that the mechanics have to repair the equipment are heated, and which is a lot. It makes a big difference, and you can just imagine during this cold spell that we've gone through, what that's meant for just getting equipment done, and even some of the other technology that they use in their parts operation. But I would just encourage you to go by and take a look at what they've done with a state-of-the-art maintenance facility, which adds to their ability to be effective in delivering service and equipment to the greater public. With that being,
We got two more questions I'll hit on before you close it. There was a question about how many buses are we producing a quarter. So essentially the total school bus market per year is about 30,000 school buses in the entire country. I represent IC, so that's a IC bus, and they were about 40% of the total market share for the United States. I think right at 36%. So we are doing roughly 10 to 12,000 units a year as a total brand within our region and some of the other contracts. We'll sell about 500 school buses a year. So if we want to break that down into quarters, you can math it backwards. The other question is driver shortage. I think we're always in a driver shortage. Right now, I don't think the driver shortage is as front and center, just because we are in a freight recession, right? We've been in a freight recession for 36 months. Actually, excuse me, 38 months now, where trucking has just been in a really bad place from a standpoint of freight and moving freight. So the bad trucking market is suppressing the not the bad, but the low amount of drivers available on the road, right? So if we ever go back to a stronger trucking market, which we hope is 2026, but I hope that in 25 and I hope that in 24 as well. So we hope in 26 that we do see a stronger trucking market. I think then you will see, hey, we don't have enough drivers start to come back out. But right now, the trucking market's horrible. Horrible.
I would, speaking of truck drivers, I would just like to say that there continues to be a shortage of technicians. We used to call them mechanics, but now we call them technicians. There's a tremendous shortage, not only in the heavy duty industry, but also in the light duty as well. And these and technicians make upwards of $80,000 to $100,000 plus a year.
Right.
So funding is, salaries are there. We just need to train more on both sides.
Perfect. Well, thank you, gentlemen. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for listening in today.
Yeah. Corey, not Corey, Antoine, did you have some closing thoughts?
Yes, let me first say thank you to you and to Corey. I also want to give a plug to, I see that John O'Donnell, congratulations on his, I'm not sure if he's still on, but he did a fantastic job with the DC Auto Show. I know they had a lot of snow and cold, so I have not had a chance to see what the fallout was on that. But the days where it was warm, it was well attended. I also wanted to, I think I did recognize Joe Hamilton as well earlier. I'm not sure who else from the board is on. But I wanted to just thank both of you. Corey, continue to stay strong and we'll continue to move onwards. I know that these are turbulent times with tariffs and interest rates are coming down a little bit. and uncertainty in the marketplace. That's one of the things we talked about on Capitol Hill yesterday. Folks, I forgot to mention that we had the Transportation Energy Partners Conference that was held in DC this week. And we were able yesterday, we were walking all up and down. We met with all the legislative congressional offices in Maryland yesterday. And it was really good support for Clean Cities in the work that we do. One of the things that we talked about yesterday was the fact that predictability, right? Businesses need certainty when they make capital investments, when they're thinking about trying to get investors to support their efforts. And so the federal government must, and state and local as well, but yesterday we were on Capitol Hill, predictability around grants, around incentives, and the fact that some programs were awarded to people and grants were awarded to the businesses, and they were just taken back. And regardless what party you're in, what business you're in, that shouldn't happen. And so I think there's some growing support for that in Clean Cities organizations, not only our office, but we had folks from here all the way to Hawaii that were in town on Capitol Hill yesterday. The other thing that we talked about, which is really important, everyone, was that Clean Cities funding for the last 2 years has been approved by Congress, but has not been released. So we, members of Congress, said that they will be working with us to get that release as well. The other thing that we talked about was the Diesel Emission Reduction Act program. We currently have a couple projects with DC government, and Corey's company is doing some of the work as well, supplying some of the vehicles, where we're taking diesel vehicles and retrofitting them and repowering them to be able to use biodiesel, which removes anywhere from 65 to 75% or more of the pollution or greenhouse gases and particulate matter out of the air. So we were on the Hill this week. I want you all to know that we are fighting for you. I want to thank some of our members that went on the Hill with us. We had a number of our board members that went up on Capitol Hill. I think about 6 or 7 went up on Capitol Hill with us yesterday, covering DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And so just want to share that with you. The last thing I will say, if you've not paid your dues, pay your dues today. Also, make sure on February 26th, we're going to have a fleet event at the office. You can register for that. You do, if you're a member, you get $10 off. It does include lunch as well. So I just wanted you all to know that. Looking forward to you all continue to work with us to get some great things done. So without further ado, I want to thank our staff and consultants and our interns that are on the call as well, and look forward to seeing you all the next time. Have a great day.
Thank you.